All right, cool. So it's live now. So we'll just give a countdown in five, four, three, two, one. Hi guys, welcome back to Pop Culture Universe. I'm Sean. So just it's been a while since we've last uploaded a video. A lot has happened since the last time we uploaded. I personally have gone through a couple of events in my life. Alex has as well. So it's been a while. We apologize for that, but we wanted to let you guys know that we're coming back, and we're coming back better than ever. So Alex is not here with me. As you can see, we're not sitting on our couch right now. So she is still part of the channel. You will still see her pop up. But as of right now, she's working, so she's going to be on the channel here and there, but she's still going to be part of it. But I just want to come on here and announce some of the new things that we're going to be doing on the channel. So I'm really, really excited of all the new things that we're going to be doing going forward. But I just want to let you guys know that all the things we were doing before, all the trailer reactions, movie reviews, we did some shows before. We're still going to be doing all those things, but we're going to be doing them in addition to some new content that we're going to be bringing on. So I would like to first introduce you to some of the new people that we're going to be having on the channel, and you guys can meet them and they can introduce themselves and we can announce some of the new things that we're doing together. So what I'd like to do now is bring on one of the people that's going to be new to the channel. Her name is Soul. Please bring her on the screen now.
Hello,
Soul, how are
everyone.
you?
Good, how are you?
Good, good. So I am in Los Angeles. Soul is in
Miami.
Miami. So with this new way of doing things, we can now remotely talk and communicate. Whereas me and Alex were always sitting in her couch, now we can just be more globally, and we'll talk about globally in a little bit. But one of the things we wanted to talk about, that one of the new shows that we're doing is kind of an old show. If you've been a fan with us since the channel first started, we did a show called Pop Talk when we talked about general um, news ideas. So now we're kind of bringing that back, and we're going to be talking about them. We're going to do it once a week. We're going to start doing it once a week, and then as we get our feet together, we might do it more than that, depending upon what's going on in the world. So we're going to be doing movie news, TV show news. If there's anime news, we'll talk about that. And also, what we're going to be doing is something that Soul kind of brought, that's bringing, that she pitched to me, and I thought would be a great idea. So why don't you tell them about it?
So, a lot of times, what we notice with a lot of movie news things is that we're talking about the recent here and now. And I know a lot of people, myself included, probably you as well, Sean, because sometimes we miss things that are a year, 2 years old, where it's like, oh, you haven't seen that yet. You haven't read that comic yet. You haven't read that book yet. And so I wanted to have something where we can also talk about the things that we are catching up on, things that we've recently watched or read or done in the previous week. So I think each week we're going to have a little segment there where we're talking about, oh, what are the things that we've caught up on?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, during this pandemic time, there's a lot of things to catch up on, but then there's a lot of things that have been released, and you're like, oh, I gotta watch this, and I gotta watch that, and this and that. So there's a lot of stuff that especially with all these streaming services that are out now, it's easy to like get to fall behind on things and like, oh, I didn't know that came out. Oh, you're watching that? I gotta watch that. So I do like the idea of, and that's why we're gonna put it in the show where, because we all have different backgrounds and we all like different things, but we all like similar things too. So if one of us is liking something, chances are the other one of us are gonna like it too. So I love this idea, and so just kind of tell everybody kind of your background and your favorite stuff in pop culture.
And so I'm not a film person or anything, but I've grown to love film and TV and just pop culture things. I've been a nerd all my life, avid book reader. I love comic books. I love those just all types of movies, goes from things like the Marvel movies and DC to things like Call Me by Your Name and Parasite, which was my favorite movie of 2019. So I like have a very eclectic taste, and so I can go with anything. So pretty much I have an opinion probably on every genre and can find something that I like about everything.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. What do you say would be your favorite movie?
Oh, that's the hardest question in the world. It changes. It changes all the time. Um, I can tell you the movie I can quote the most, and that is My Big Fat Greek Wedding. I can quote that movie front to back. That's a movie I watch with my mom all the time.
Well, that's a good one. That movie took the country by storm when it came out, so that's not a bad choice. Well, you mentioned that you like the MCU movies, which we've covered a lot on this channel. I've actually gotten Alex to start to appreciate them as they've come out. When the channel first started, she was just like, yeah, I'll watch it because of the channel. But now she's actually really got into it. So it's actually nice to have more and more people kind of jumping in, and we could talk more about that universe and the DC stuff and all the other movies that are coming out. But besides the MCU, what is your favorite movie genres or franchises that you enjoy?
I like history and historical things. So things like 1917, if we're going back to movies that came out in 2019, I think that was my close second favorite. I also like fantasy and sci-fi. So I like things like Lord of the Rings and Star Wars, and like the smaller movies like Edge of Tomorrow, which I guess wasn't a small movie to Tom Hanks. Not Tom Hanks,
Tom Cruise, yeah.
Tom Cruise, but is didn't have such a success at the box office, but was still a great movie.
Well, I mean, it was successful enough where they're still trying to make a sequel, and I think we will see a sequel to that movie at some point because everybody involved wants to do it. Tom wants to do it. Emily Blunt wants to do it. The director wants to do it. So I think that will eventually happen. But I love that movie, and I don't think it's underrated. It's very underrated.
And now some people got confused too with the whole like Live Die Repeat because it is based on a manga that's called Live Die Repeat, and so they tried to do that with new when they were having the DVD sales to change the name of it, and that kind of confused some people as well.
It did because it's Live Die Repeat Edge of Tomorrow. I'm like, wait, what? Wait, isn't it just Edge of Tomorrow? So you're right. That did kind of like wait, what's the title again? So it was like it was a little confusing, but I think it did find an audience when it got released, and it got way more popular than it did through its theatrical run. So I think that's one of the reasons why we are going to get a sequel. Now you mentioned Star Wars, so we have covered Star Wars on this channel. So we're actually going to be covering a lot more than we used to. So what I like to do now is bring on some of our other newer teammates that's going to be covering Star Wars as well as myself and Soul. I would like to now introduce Colin and Boggs, who have their own show that they would like to that we're going to actually be premiering later today. So guys, tell us about it.
Well, hi. I'm Colin. This is Boggs.
Hey,
we usually talk about Schmodown. But when we are in pre-production and post-production meetings on Schmodown, we can't stop talking about Star Wars. So Sean has been gracious enough to give us some space on his YouTube channel to give you We Have the High Ground, a Star Wars show where we are going to be starting off breaking down, obviously, The Mandalorian. I don't know if anyone else is aware, but when this drops, we'll be less than 72 hours away from you seeing fresh new Baby Yoda. And there's nothing I love more than fresh Baby Yoda in the morning. And it is just so exciting that I can do it with one of my favorite people on the entire planet. Was somebody who, Sean, was so gracious enough to put us together for a Schmodown show. And now he's let loose on the world. The Star Wars master and apprentice. More equally, I feel like this is like some serious, like Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan, like peak powers, like in the netherworld of the Force. It is Colin and Boggs. Boggs, we're here. We did it.
We are a dyad in the Force.
Yes.
So yes, absolute.
Which one of you is Rey and which one of you is Ben?
No, he said Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan. That's the best comparison for me.
Okay.
But yeah, absolute pleasure to be here. Thank you so much, Sean, for giving us the opportunity. You've got for me, you've got quite a well-established channel, so absolute pleasure to be here. Give my voice, my opinion, bring you some transatlantic class to the show. But yeah, no, it's just a different opinion, different point of view. I can't wait to get into things, talking all things Star Wars. Initially, obviously, we're setting up a Star Wars show, myself and Colin. and obviously with you guys on as guests. But yeah, any other shows that we do talk about, can't wait. Super excited. So much to talk about. And yeah, thank you so much, Sean.
Oh, no problem. And then I just want you guys to know that it's not my channel anymore. It's our channel. So me and Alex are kind of we're spearheading at the beginning, but now we're kind of both glad, even though she's not here right now because she's working. We're both glad to bring you guys, all of you guys on board. And I'm really, really excited about bringing Pop Talk back in this brand new way. I'm excited for We Have the High Ground. I can't wait to start talking about The Mandalorian. I'm looking so much forward to that. We talked about it a little bit when the first season broke, but you guys were gracious enough. Can you guys explain the episode that's going to be dropping later tonight and tomorrow?
Yeah, so we sat down over the course of the last 2 weeks. So some of the endings of the episodes may seem a little dated, but we did reviews for the first half is going to be episode 0, part 1. Is going to be episode 1 through 4 of The Mandalorian. And then the second episode, part 2, will be 5 through 8, plus our speculation on what we think is going to come in season 2. And I'm just super excited. So the first episode is going to be dropping at midnight Eastern, 9 p.m. Pacific. So looking forward to that. And then that would be the second episode is going to drop at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific tomorrow afternoon. And then you will get a fresh review as soon as Boggs and I can put them out on Friday. So look forward to that, folks. It'll be in your YouTube feed. And, as always, we have the high ground.
I'm so
That's right,
excited
baby.
for this show. I'm so excited to watch it.
Me too. And then not only are we going to be covering The Mandalorian, as once The Mandalorian passes, we'll be talking about just Star Wars news in general on that show, as well as Star Wars comic books or Star Wars books or just anything Star Wars related. So you can come to Pop Culture Universe for your Star Wars fix. We're probably going to do it every Friday, but that we can always drop a special episode now and again, depending upon if there's any really breaking Star Wars news, like whatever they announced the new trilogy is going to be or something like that. Expect like breaking news on We Have the High Ground to
The next time Ewan McGregor decides he's going to walk on set in his Obi-Wan costume, Boggs and I will be there.
Anytime
Yes.
Ewan McGregor has a beard from now on,
We
we'll
will be
reporting.
there.
Yes, absolutely.
You'll be covering the high
We're-
ground, just looking down.
We're
Anytime.
on Beard Watch. Beard Watch.
That's right.
Anytime
That's right.
Hayden Christensen is near Ewan McGregor, we will be there. And Boggs is physically closer than all of us.
Yes.
Yeah, damn right.
Yeah, so guys, kind of give let the people know about yourself. Colin, why don't you start? Kind of what's your favorite things in pop culture, and then just like favorite movie.
Favorite things in pop culture. Well, like as a kid, I mean, cartoons were always the jam, right? As you see, I got anime out the wazoo behind me, but I'm also a sports guy at heart as well. So everything just kind of comes from a point of passion. So it's like if I respect what you're doing, I become just as passionate as the people that make it are about their subject. So like I could sit here and talk Star Wars just as, feverishly as Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau can. And that's the conversations we hope to have. But when it comes to my favorite stuff, I mean, it's Star Wars. I mean, it's anime. It's a good mix of both. I feel like those worlds cross over more than people realize. Sports, anime, Star Wars.
Mhm.
It's all about, finding that balance within yourself and, and it's all that good stuff. But if you had to ask me my favorite movie, man, I'd probably
It's a
have
hard
to.
question, right?
It's such a hard question. Man, the movie I probably have the most fun with ever, if you just have to say like one time, it's got to be The Two Towers.
Ooh,
It might be recency bias, but there's just something about the way Legolas kicks that orc and rides that shield down those stairs
Yeah.
and lays 5 arrows into the chest of that orc and then flies the shield into the chest of the other orc. And you're just like,
Yes.
man, he wore that wig well. There's just something so great about it.
So Colin will be looking forward to the new Amazon show about Lord of the Rings that will happen.
Oh,
at
and there's
some
going to be
point.
naked people too. Yes.
Like The Witcher.
I'm like 4 episodes into The Witcher, so please expect a Witcher review on this channel as well. Once I am the last person in the world to watch The Witcher.
You're not the last one because I haven't watched it either. So you can definitely
Both
expect
of you need-
one.
Both of you need to get on that. Both
Yes.
of you need to get on that.
It's
both do.
on the list. So yeah, so one of the episodes of Pop Talk, I'll be like, "Hey, I just started watching The Witcher, and this is what
I
I'm
got
thinking."
that. I got the first book from the library. See, you keep pulling out these books. All our books are outside in the living room. I grabbed that first book. That's a doozy. Those books are not easy reads. Like those are
Well, they're translated from Polish, right?
yeah, that ain't easy. That's what I'm saying. Like it's hard stuff.
Yeah, but don't worry, I will catch up on The Witcher, just like I need to catch up on The Boys. You would think during this pandemic I would have had time to be watching a lot of stuff, but just the world happens.
No, Sean, you're the greatest mod on the internet.
Yeah, you're a busy man.
Well, yeah, I'm doing other things besides rerunning this channel again. So, kind of took a break from that, was doing other things. Now we're back doing this, and I just had to also thank Alex, as well as thanking you guys too. I was kind of trying to figure out a way to bring us back, me and Alex back, and me and Alex had several conversations about what we wanted to do and how we want to come back, but we just couldn't. We couldn't figure it out. There wasn't a lot of trailers coming out, so we're just like, we don't know. But then we kind of talked and kind of figured you guys were saying that you wanted to do a show about we have the high ground. You didn't name it yet, but then you're like, we want to talk about Star Wars. We want to talk about pop culture stuff, and then we just got to talk like, hey, I have a channel. You guys want to talk about stuff? Like, why aren't we working together? Which is kind of like, duh. Why aren't we?
It's very
So now
hard,
we are.
right, Sean? It's very hard in this day and age to find like maybe 6 to 10 people that you want to work with, right? Like it's very hard to find that trustworthy space. Like Sean, your experience in production, like I know Alex is as well. Like Alex has her master's from Southern California. Like I just graduated with my just my associate's degree in film production, but just the respect we have for production. It's very rare to find people who can, put ego aside and work together towards a common goal. And it's like Sean, I mean, I just got to say, man, they might want to hire you to be the new Dodgers GM or maybe the new Red Sox GM because they made the worst mistake ever in trading away Mookie Betts. Congratulations to the city of Los Angeles, by the way. You're seeing this. That was a hell of a win. You guys pulled it out for the World Series. But Sean, you pulling together these people has been truly impressive. So I just wanted to say that to you as well. It's just something that's like the respect to you because you pulled me, Boggs, and John Barr out of a hat for the Ultimate Schmodown show. And the connection with Alex and now bringing in Soul as well. You will, come into this and like you're just conducting. Just conduct away, sir. Just conduct away.
I appreciate
Speaking of
that.
sports, I'm glad Tampa lost.
As they beat the Yankees, I'm kind of glad they lost too. And I wouldn't want to be a GM for the Dodgers or the Red Sox, especially not the Red Sox. Sorry, Soul. But I do like the fact that they did trade away Mookie Betts. And speaking of sports, that is also something that we're going to be bringing. That's a good segue to. We're also going to be doing a sports show on the channel here as well. So we'll be talking about Major League Baseball. Now that's in the off season. Talking about the NBA, that's in the off season. Now we're still knee deep in an NFL.
We're bringing a lot of experience too. There's sports. There's a lot of experience that we're bringing to this show. This is my first show with my best friends from high school and college. We're bringing the consistently inconsistent boys back, and we're going to bring them over here. We're going to be talking sports. We're going to start probably twice a month, and then, as things slowly progress, we'll start to get into, everything. Once sports, totally come back next year, everything will be on a flow. But we got a lot of experience. I work in college basketball. I work in minor league hockey. One of my best friends who's going to be a co-host, he works in minor league baseball. So we're not your talking heads who just sit around and watch sports. We see this on a day-to-day basis. We see how this stuff works. We see how the people work. And I know that's been interesting to a lot of people over the last 6 months has been like, what's going on with sports? We don't know a whole lot about college sports. We have college football right now, but there's a lot of news breaking every day on college football. Like as we're recording this just today, the entire Wisconsin football team got shut down and they're like not even rescheduling football games. So there's like constantly there's news, every hour as it seems. So we'll be here to report on it. We'll be here to give you the latest, but we'll give you an in-depth look. This is not First Take. This is not Stephen A. Smith yelling at people across the TV. This is people giving you like an in-depth, we really care about this stuff. We really talk about this stuff. We live this stuff. Like, this is our livelihood. Like, I lost my job because, I'm so entrenched in sports, and now, we're in the world we're in. And that's been a theme that will carry through the show, will be like the ripple effect of this pandemic on sports and how we recover. So I'm excited to tackle that. And it's going to be a new kind of show. It's not going to be every week we're analyzing, well, who do we have for the Heisman #1? Who's leading the pack this week? Like, that's not what we're talking about. We're going to be talking about some deeper stuff. We're going to be figuring out like how we can do sports better.
And for anything Premier League, we have Boggs here to help us out with that as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Giving us a across the pond point of view on American sports and English sports too, because we know not all of our fans are in the United States, even the majority of them are. Some are going to be from international, and I'm always curious to about the English Premier League. I watched it a little bit because I spent some time in the UK. But I'm also curious to see what Boggs thinks about just any stories that have come from America. Like, what is his interaction with Major League Baseball and the NFL and NBA? Because I do know they're quite popular in the UK to a degree, not as popular as what we call soccer, you call football, but to a degree there is a level of interest there. So I'm always curious to kind of hear what Boggs thinks about American sports. But also, Boggs, just now you kind of introduce yourself. Tell us what you like about pop culture, your favorite movie, or anything that you like us to tell.
Sure,
I will say though, the rest of the
ahead.
world calls it football as well. Because we're
Very true.
the
Very
weird
true.
ones.
We're the oddball. Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, so yeah, lots of questions there. So on the back of sports, so me personally, I'm a hardcore soccer football fan. I'm also a hardcore boxing fan, actually. So
Who's your
anytime
team? Tell them your team.
Well, my team is actually a lower division side, so they are called Derby County. If anyone's heard of them, so they're in
That's where your average ordinary FIFA my player starts out. When you start out at FIFA, you start out in Derby County.
Like yeah. Well, actually, the highest goal scorer of English football currently plays for Derby County, which is Wayne Rooney. So it's not a nobody team. It's it's a somebody team. But anyway. Yeah, so exactly. He's the captain of my club at the minute. But yeah, just United. Absolutely, yeah, legend, English legend, and all that. So yeah, he's the current. That's the town that I'm in now. So City, and he's the captain of that team. But yeah, just overall thoughts on sports. Yeah, so I'm personally not a fan of American football, baseball, or basketball. Obviously, I'm aware of certain people. I'm aware of certain storylines, themes, things like that. But in terms of the UK, as far as I'm aware, particularly basketball has a major support. And American football, I'd say, is on pretty much live whenever it is live on, like here. It's on live at the same time. Baseball, you very rarely see it live. You do see highlights here and there. But yeah, I mean, I have casual interest in them sports. I'm not going to lie. But yeah, there is actual genuine major fan bases here for them sports, absolutely. But soccer, my heart lies with soccer, and because soccer's for everybody. Whether you're in the States or not, whether you're from underprivileged background, whether you're anywhere in the world, any race, creed, color, religion, soccer can bring people together, and that's why personally I like it the most. Secondly, just and as well, a lot of the kind of most obviously soccer players are now massively overpaid, but majority of them come from underprivileged backgrounds and underprivileged backgrounds, kind of migrated from other countries, come from very hard, difficult situations and kind of managed to get themselves out of there. So I've always got, my heart's always with them a little bit. So, but that's my UK knowledge and perspective on that anyway. We're just going on me personally. So I have, obviously I'm from the UK. major Star Wars fan. I do like other sci-fi fantasy elements as well. Like Colin's mentioned, all the rings. Big Star Trek fan, have been all my life. Big MCU DC fan. But I also have major other interests as well. I love classic cinema. I love Hitchcock, Kubrick. I love the writing elements of stories. I love the cinematography. I love editing. I love basically the story. So if you can hook me in with a story and engross me in that way, I'm more kind of, regardless of what the story is, if it's a musical, if it's a dance movie, if it's like I said, a classic movie, if it's particularly as well, stories about minorities, stories about underprivileged backgrounds, things like that, from different walks of life. I love all that stuff.
Hold on 1 second. I just have
Goodbye,
to
Collins.
say. I just have to say. I smelled
go
it
ahead.
from a mile away. So, have you ever heard of Hamilton?
I don't like everything, right? I don't like everything.
You
but,
set yourself up for that. You really, really did.
yeah, I mean,
You really,
I'm not a
really
fan. Not a fan of Hamilton. No. not a
Oh,
fan.
you
We
mean a
just
story
lost all of our
about
followers.
an immigrant playing an immigrant, making a mark on a nation that would last generations?
No, I mean, like, obviously, I don't want to make it too
Wait,
political,
Lynn,
but like,
that was an original rap that I didn't realize I just did. So I need you to understand right now, I didn't mean to do that. But if you want to
Okay.
use it in Hamilton 2, I understand.
no,
When
this
he
is what I
comes
mean.
back
Like, I
from the,
respect.
from the death.
No,
It's the
of
Halloween
course,
special. It's the Hamilton.
of course, I have respect and admiration for the minorities involved in the story. Creating, writing, directing, starring. But just personally, I told you guys off screen, I don't like spoken rap stuff. Personally for me, so it's not for me. But yeah, no, just on my, I was just gonna say on some of my favorite movies as well. I don't actually have my favorite movie. I'm gonna be obvious and say Star Wars, like kind of original trilogy.
Which one? Oh, the
where my
original
heart's at. Yeah, like I can't, they fluctuate which one's greatest, but I'm trying to think anything except for that. Absolutely love Hitchcock. Some of the Rear Window, Vertigo, they're right up there. But yeah, like my favorite movie last year was actually Marriage Story, starring Adam Driver and Scarlett
I
Johansson.
haven't watched that
movie.
because I'm in a relationship.
Mate,
And I heard if you're
mate,
like in a relationship,
I dropped a couple of tears watching
you
that.
shouldn't
I'm
watch
not gonna
it.
lie. I'm
so
not gonna lie.
I was told for the health of my relationship,
No,
we should
Colin.
not watch Marriage Story.
Okay, now here's my unpopular opinion. I actually didn't like Marriage Story.
Okay,
I
so
like
fair.
to
No, you've
post-
seen it. You've seen it. That's
Yeah,
fair.
I
I
thought
like-
I haven't seen
1917
it
was a
either.
godsend.
I
Listen,
saw that.
I
for me-
actually like Two Popes More from Netflix.
I've not seen that yet. I've not seen that.
I haven't watched
So-
that. I really did want to watch that because I love Anthony Hopkins and who played the other Pope.
He's the British
just-
guy, isn't he?
That
Yep.
guy with the glasses.
Yeah, I forgot his name. Yeah.
The guy with the glasses. No, but I thoroughly enjoyed 1917 because I didn't say what
Yes.
my favorite movie was. Just I felt like I was watching a video game where I was like, okay,
Yeah,
dude's
yeah, it was.
got to get here. All right, he's gonna hang out with these people and rest for a second. All right, dude's got to get here, and then you realize, spoilers. Oh no, he's got to go talk to this guy's brother.
Jonathan Price, his name was.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
Jonathan Price.
I
Jonathan
just want to
Price
say,
playing an Argentinian.
yeah. Just want to say for Marriage Story for Colin and stuff. Like I thought of that as well. Oh, it's a divorce story. It's emotional, things like that. But the acting is superb. The direction is superb. The score is like takes you out of the movie. How beautiful it is. It's so funny. Like it's got twists and turns. It's just genuine, emotional. It's heartfelt. Like so many positives and things like that. So like someone like me, I'm a sports guy. I like action movies. I like sci-fi, and then I like Marriage Story as my. That's what I mean. The story elements. How can I emotionally attach to them is what I'm interested in. In particular, and if like I said, if it's a good story, regardless of the genre, I will give it attention, and and that's what kind of appeals to me the most. So, but like I said, I believe I have different opinions, and I'm glad I can have a voice to give mine on this great channel that you've got, Sean.
Yeah, well, like I said, it's not my channel anymore, so
Oh, yeah.
it's our channel now. But I'm really curious to hear you guys' one thing, and we can kind of wrap this up for this kind of announcement video. Is I want to hear what you guys are really the most excited to talk about Like, what topics are you really, really excited to talk about on this channel? We'll start with Soul. You go first. What are you most excited to
Oh
talk
no,
about?
I'm going first.
Well,
I
ladies
guess.
first, you know.
Oh well, thank you. I guess just having and conversations are just about all the things that I love. So kind of just talking about movies and TV shows and Star Wars and MCU and DC and all the nerdy shit that I'm into. Yeah.
We'll go with Boggs. What are you most excited about?
Well, to be honest, I'm kind of the way my kind of main interest in doing this stuff is knowing other people's opinions. So your guys, because it will help me have a better understanding of because let's say sports, for example. So I like to do an analytical approach. I like the psychology of sports. I like the managerial, the tactics side of things. But you might have a different opinion to that I haven't even thought of. So that will help me with my overall general knowledge, knowing other people, other walks of life, different thoughts, different beliefs, and help me understand your beliefs and help my overall understanding. So I want to hear your guys' opinion, and I want to kind of have them debates, have them discussions, and just help. Overall, that can help people kind of who view with their opinions and help me, and just talk it out and have fun discussions.
All right. And Colin, what about you?
So I guess for a while, a lot of my conversations have to start with like 5 minutes of preamble of me explaining to you why what I'm about to say is cool. I could just tell from, our little pre-production meeting we had this past weekend and the past 6 months I've spent on the internet with Boggs that I'm in a safe space where I can
Them
just
days are gone. You don't have to do that anymore, Colin. You're in a safe place now.
Yeah.
I can literally just say, so what if Thrawn and Ezra just pop up in the middle of an episode of The Mandalorian? You're like,
I'll cry.
like I'll cry. Like
I'll cry on
literally
the screen if that happens.
on the
And
back of a space
load.
whale. I'll literally cry. Like
Adding in the
like
space whale
Boggs and
too.
I are like-
Yeah. mean,
I
that's
said this
like-
in the beginning, and you'll hear this in the beginning of our episodes of We Have the High Ground. Like, Boggs is this safe space I've waited to talk like Star Wars with, besides my girlfriend's brother. Like, they're these two people that I've found that I never had before that are just on like the same level of understanding of everything that's going on. Because, excuse me, I found this sphere on the internet of Collider Movie Talk, AMC Movie Talk, the Schmoes. All these folks were people that I felt like I could have conversations with, like all the time. I'd be talking back to the TV. I'd be talking back to, my MacBook or whatever, whatever I was watching on, I'd be talking back. And now I've finally found, this group of people that I could talk to about whatever it is. If it's anime with her friend John Barr from the Ultimate Schmodown Show, if it's sports, if it's football, soccer with Boggs, like I don't have a lot of people to talk that with, like especially Premier League, like at least in somebody that I could like Boggs informs me on that kind of stuff, and that's something I look forward to, is being like genuinely informed by people whose opinions I respect and they have the same level of prior knowledge going into a conversation that I'm just not normally privy to.
Yeah, I mean that's great. I mean, to kind of answer my own question, I'm really just excited to listen to you guys talk. I loved one of the reasons I started this channel with Alex was that I'm very opinionated. I like voicing my opinion and explaining why I have it. Otherwise, I would stay quiet and listen. But I'm also love hearing other people's opinion and kind of having a discord about it. So on the channel, me and Alex have had many discussions about like things like Game of Thrones and the MCU, and she has one opinion, I have another. We love going back and forth. But now we're at the point where we're now expanding and bringing you guys on board. I'm just excited to hear you guys' opinion. I'm also excited about talking about other things because we were just kind of mostly talking about movies, and we did a little bit of TV. Now I'm excited to do more TV. I'm excited to hear you guys talk about The Mandalorian, and then I'll pop in there at some points as well. I'm excited when Cobra Kai comes out to talk about that. I'm excited to talk about WandaVision when that comes out. I'm excited to talk about Loki when that comes out. I'm excited to talk about all the shows on Netflix, all the shows on Amazon Prime, on HBO Max. All these streaming shows, services have shows, and we're going to be talking about as many and all of them as we possibly can. So I'm really looking forward just to having conversations, because conversations are what humans love doing, and I love actually like we're all from different parts of the country. Even Boggs in a different country, so lovely, and we all have different backgrounds. So the idea that we can all watch a show and we can either love it or hate it for all different kinds of reasons is what I'm really, really excited to listen and hear about. So I can't wait for us to get started. This is just the beginning of it. Like Colin said, we're going to be launching. We have the high ground later tonight. The first episode where they're going to be previewing the first 4 episodes. Then tomorrow they'll be previewing the last 4, and then on Friday when the first episode of season 2 drops, they'll be promoting that as well. So they're going to be on it. Soul is going to be on there at some point as well. I'm sure Alex will, myself will as well. And then as more and more of these shows come out, we will be covering them. And just like we've been doing before, when trailers come out, especially when movies are starting to come back in the theaters, we're going to be covering those. When movies comes out, we're going to be doing movie reviews on those. So everything that you guys were that you guys watch on our channel, and thank you for subscribing in the past. And if you want to subscribe going forward, please do so, because not only are we bringing everything that you guys loved before, we're adding a lot more to your guys' plate now. So thank you again for sticking with us. I know it was a long time since we posted before, but I apologize for that, but it looks like it was worth the wait, because now we're coming back better than ever than we were before. So I'm glad to bring up on Colin and Boggs and Soul, and Alex is coming back, and you're going to see some more familiar faces that we've shown you on the channel before. You're also going to see some newer faces that will be joining us from the Ultimate Schmodown show, which Boggs and Colin are a part of, where they talk about they do reactions on a thing on the internet called the Movie Trivia Schmodown. So that's where they're coming from, and I'm kind of helping them with that show. That's kind of how we met. That's a little backstory there. So I'm really excited. I can't wait to get started. I can't wait for you guys to join us. So tell us what you think of our new family here at the Pop Culture Universe channel. Leave a comment below. Also, like we've been talking about on all of our videos, please like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell when you so that you can be notified when we drop a lot of all of our new shows. And the shows that we're talking about that we haven't really figured out exactly how we're going to do yet. We are going to do a sports show, like Colin mentioned. We are going to do some kind of animation show. We might also do maybe a video game show, because who plays video games?
I'm about to start again.
There you go. There you go. So Nintendo Switch, PS4.
I'm gonna buy the PS5.
There we go.
You're gonna buy the Xbox Series X, and we don't have time for this.
No. So like when things like Spider-Man Miles Morales game comes out, guess who's gonna be playing that?
Guess we'll just watch the cinematics in 4K.
Yeah. Well.
Quick question: what was your favorite movie last year? Because we all mentioned ours. What was yours?
Oh, it probably was 1917. But I don't. It was so good, but it was so good that I don't think I want to watch it again, though. It's this kind of movies like
that's
right.
Jojo
I love it.
Jojo
I enjoyed
the
it.
same way.
I saw it in IMAX, and I was like, if I watch it on my TV or my laptop, it probably won't be the same.
That's it.
Yes.
That's it,
And I loved it so much.
Yeah. Well, before we go, what is the favorite thing that you've watched this year? It could be movie or TV show.
That's been released this year, or that we've watched? Okay.
Yeah, that you've watched. Yeah, that came out this year. While you guys are thinking, I will start. I wish we had talked about it back then, but The Invisible Man, I was blown away by that movie. It's probably the best movie that's come out in theaters. It's not saying that much, but I love that movie. Elizabeth Moss crushed it. Didn't see like the kind of approach that they took, not to spoil it, but I came out walking out of that movie like, oh my God, I love this. It was a nice suspense thriller that I wasn't expecting to be as good as it was. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if A, that movie gets nominated for an Oscar, and B, Elizabeth Moss gets nominated for best actress. And when Oscar season comes out, whenever it comes out next year. So Invisible Man, that's mine. Who wants to go next?
I guess I can go. Season 2 of The Boys.
Which I haven't watched. Yes.
It was so good. And it upped the bar of season 1. It's an even better season. Goes Aya Cash is amazing as Stormfront. I won't spoil anything.
She is a Reva, and we're talking about the boys. Reva freaking Lation.
Spoilers.
She is a revelation of an actress. That show has done such a job of taking the one dude from Gossip Girl and then surrounding you with a bunch of people and Dennis Quaid's son and then Carl Urban, and then you don't know anybody else. And it's like,
And I love
Literally.
too his callback to Hunger Games because he was killed by Katniss in the first Hunger Games, and they made a Hunger Games callback in the show, and that was pretty funny.
Nice. Colin, you got yours yet?
yeah, it's definitely, I can count Watchmen, right?
Yeah, of course.
Was that
Okay,
this year?
yeah, it's Watchmen. It finished this year. It definitely finished. It finished in 2020.
I'll give you that. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
I'll give
Okay.
you that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely Watchmen. I'm just absolutely blown away. I'm a big Lost fan, so I've been a big
Me
fan,
too.
of just the entire progression of Lost to the Leftovers, and just now to Watchmen, just the lessons that have been learned over the course of television, and it's just something we haven't seen before. So for me, Watchmen was just really rewarding for me, and I think I know what Boggs is gonna say.
And
Well,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. Okay, so I've got a few because UK releases are a bit different to US, so I'm not
Yeah,
100% sure.
I know what you're gonna
So-
say. I think I know what
So
you're gonna say.
technically, it's a cheat, but I probably would say The Mandalorian was released in the UK this year.
Oh, I
But,
thought you were gonna say
yeah,
so.
technically came out in March in the UK, but okay, that's a bit of a cheat. I'm actually gonna pick a weird one. I think it was released this year. But let me just double check. What did you think I was
Boggs,
gonna
the
say?
answer is Clone Wars season 7. What is wrong with you?
No, I mean
Ah!
Watchmen.
I thought it was
I
gonna
don't
say
know. Think
Cobra
I'd
Kai.
put
I thought it was gonna say Cobra Kai.
that didn't come out this year. I think I
Well,
watched
technically for
it.
you it did.
Oh
Technically.
no, true, yeah, true. But I think I would probably go with Tiger King.
I didn't watch that.
That
It's such a
bitch
big
Carol
deal.
Baskins. We gotta end this now. I could go for an
I
hour, Boggs. You want to
love
review
Tiger
it? Let's
I
review it.
love Tiger King. Yeah, I was
I
engrossed in the
love
characters,
Tiger
the
King
story,
with a
the twist.
passion.
Yeah, the yeah.
I'm with
I
Sean.
love
I
it.
haven't watched it. It's on my.
You know he
Because my-
burned down that studio, right?
Yeah,
he
of course. The
burned down
crocodiles in it
studio.
and killed them all.
Yeah,
Yeah, of course
fucking
he did.
crocodile.
Some of us
Yeah.
haven't
Yeah,
watched.
sorry,
it. Some
sorry,
of us
spoiled
haven't
it,
watched
yeah.
Because
I mean, no,
my
it's great. I
Netflix,
mean,
my
it's
list
engrossing.
has so many.
I'm sorry if
things on
that's
it.
what I just said.
Yeah,
Spoiled
mine
that
too.
show.
Oh yeah, he does a lot more. He does a lot more.
That show is a
I'm-
train.
I'm sure. I mean, well, it got a lot of hype for a reason, so I'm sure it's as good as you're saying, or as
He
bad
might
as
win
you're
an
saying.
Oscar.
Well, an Emmy, not an Oscar. But anyway, so that's our thoughts here. I mean, like I said, excited to get going. Let us know what you guys think. Drop your comments below and join us on this journey that we're doing moving forward. So for myself, I'll speak for Alice who isn't here. She's excited too. For Soul, for Boggs, for Colin. We're back. Pop Culture Universe is here. PCU's here. And we're not going anywhere. We're just moving forward. So look out for all the stuff that we're coming out. And see you next time.
Bye.